This episode is brought to you by FlowState, the unlimited Webflow development service. Find out more at flowstate.dev. So I've just got back from filming for my travel YouTube, which actually, there you go, it's a bit better. Link in the description, that's an ND filter for filming outside. Yeah, so I've just got back from filming a day in Budapest, and I was thinking on the way back after taking loads of photos that I don't have a website for that. And what better way to build a website from scratch using Webflow, which is obviously what this channel is all about. Don't worry, I can actually see better with these sunglasses on than I can without, because they're prescription, so ignore that little bit of business. I was thinking, I don't have a website. It would be great as for, I've been producing a lot of beginners tutorials recently just to kind of refresh my knowledge and look at the basics, which as you progress and get sort of more accustomed to a tool, you forget to go back to basics, and there might be changes that were added before you, you know, by that time you can check out my videos on the site settings, for instance, and I did one on the custom code areas. So it's good to go back to basics. So I thought, why not do that with just building a basic website. Let's sort that out because I'm still not happy here. So with that, if you are a beginner, if you're fresh off the boat with Webflow, you've never touched it before, turn this video off right now, because my first bit of advice to you would be use a theme. Go to Webflow's themes and start with a theme and then start customizing that, because what this is going to do, it's going to be a from scratch video. So once you've used the theme and worked with that and got your website loaded and stuff like that, then you're thinking, ooh, I'd like to build a website without having to use a theme and I can do exactly what I want. Then come back to this video. I'll be waiting here for you. I'll be waiting, don't worry, I won't go anywhere. And then we can start building this together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to design my website that I need to do. It's just going to be a simple website. I don't need too much. I need to show that my travel YouTube and my travel Instagram and general basic setup of a website, including analytics and tracking. And I'll probably break that up again into just, I'm thinking out loud. So I'm going to design my website in Figma. You should absolutely design your website first in Figma, just because you're causing yourself too much headaches, and you can change things and whatever in Figma, no matter how competent you are at CSS. And then I'll meet you back here in a short while where we'll jump into Webflow. So if that sounds really exciting to you, because I'm excited, then smash that like button, give us a subscribe, and check out the links in the description below, including if you are new to Webflow, sign up with my link below, and then I'll get a little bit of a kickback from you joining Webflow based on my recommendation. So without further ado, so I have, what do you mean I look different? So I have my design, of course it's very basic. You're not coming to this channel for my design skills whatsoever. So I've just put together a really, really simple website. You've got a hero image here, just a bit of text, some links. So hopefully we can integrate with Instagram or do something automatic there. And my YouTube as well. I'm going to be listing some of the products I use with affiliate links, just the basic stuff really. So I think there's going to be some really interesting things we can do, particularly for beginners, just to show you how I go about doing these things, such as the fixed header at the top here, the full screen hero image. I think there's just no time like the present. Let's get cracking on with this and see where we get up to. So I'm on my dashboard here. I'm going to create a new site. How exciting, I haven't done this for a while. And I'm going to start from fresh. And let's call this Travel Book Pro. Create a new site. I'm hoping this is maybe your first time looking into some of this stuff, because certainly an interesting perspective, I think, to watch someone work. I'm curious to know what's changed as well from my perspective. So we have a blank screen. Now I like to focus primarily, I get very bored, I will be honest, but I like to primarily focus on the HTML structure before doing all the styling and stuff. Now if you didn't know, all of these elements here, they represent, in the code, they represent HTML blocks, which gives meaning to the content within them. So you say, hey, this is an article. All the content within here is an article, for instance, and article sections, they all have different meanings. So I like to just build that out first. And if we take a look here, you can see our navigator here, and you can see our sort of DOM structure. Now if you press Command E, I can start to add stuff, and as you grow familiar with the different elements and whatever that are in Webflow, then you can certainly do this and just know your way around things. I don't know what this cog does. Add element. Oh, okay, so you can actually refine what this sort of special window does. And I want a head. Again, I want a navbar. Boom, that's what I want, and it adds it to the child of whatever you're clicking in. So I now need to do this, do it again, and now add a main, but we don't have that. Oops, we don't have that. We have basically div blocks, and you'll get very familiar with div blocks. This ultimately is the main, so we've got the navigation here, and you've got the main content of the page, and then we have a footer, which we don't have a footer, although we do have from the starter libraries, and it's worth looking into those things, but we're not going to be doing that. I'm just going to be building it from scratch as promised from the title. And then what we can do here, we can change these to a main and a footer. And that's my basic thing. So now I'm going to start to build out this navbar. Let's see how this is built up. So the container is a built-in component with a set fixed width. Now to be able to override that, you need custom code. I don't have custom code. I'm not intending on this being a paid for site with a custom domain just yet. But just so you know, a container is like a default fixed container. Probably going to create my own because I don't want that one, and we can, well, basically all it is a div block with a special class on it. So I'm going to create my own, and I'm just going to do main content and just create my own class there, and then put everything in the main content. Let's move that up there and delete that. So now my main content is going to have a max width of, what would be a nice max width? I mean, this can be whatever you want it to be, really. So the base breakpoint is 1352. I'm just going to put my max width as, I don't know, 1190. It's not really that big a deal, and because that's now shrunk, it's moved over to the left hand side, so it needs an auto margin left and auto margin right, and that'll put it in the middle no matter what our screen size is, and it won't ever extend bigger than that 1190 that I put in there. So there's our main content, and here's our brand, which is a link, which we can see is empty. I probably want some text in that, so I'm going to make a link block. In fact, it's going to be a text link, text link, and I'm going to put no, I can't grab it. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to type travel book. Can't decide whether I ever want a space or not. I guess it's kind of a thing on MacBook Pro. What do Apple do? Okay, so they have a space. There it is. It's decided. So there we go. I have a travel book Pro, and then if I knock back to my designs, we've got Instagram, YouTube, My Gear, and My Tools. Instagram, YouTube, My Gear, oops, and then copy and paste that. My Tools, and we'll sort that out later on. Again, I'm not looking at the design, I'm just looking, I mean, I get some default designs here, but I'm not really looking at the design. I'm just looking at the basic structure of the web page. When I get bored, I'll probably dip into the design, but if I don't get bored, I mean, this is pretty simple, pretty quick. I'll probably knock out this HTML in a little bit. So let's just keep cracking on. There's our navbar in our main, so our first section. It's full width, so we'll keep this section there. And inside of that, I'll have a head H1. I'm probably going to change this to Travel Book Pro. Maybe I'll do something like, oops. Maybe I'll do something like this. Travel Book Pro. Make this a bit bigger. Yeah, something like that. Whatever. It's Travel Book Pro. And then below that is a paragraph. Solo Nomad. There we go. Cool. And that's probably going to be, if I had a div block, I want something to wrap these two. So I'll place basically both the heading and the paragraph. I'll place the div block and then naturally the paragraph will be there. Let's also start to clean up some of this. So this will be hero section. Now with classes, there are multiple ways to do things. Some people like to use something called BEM, which would look something like this. I just like that just because it gives it a nice clean name in the heading, in the navigator here. That's just my preference. Look into BEM. Look into, I think Client First has their own naming convention, but just Google naming conventions for CSS and you'll see a whole bunch of different ways of doing things. Just pick what your favorite is. Organizationally, I'm thinking BEM. I'm doing a combination of BEM, and that all makes sense later on. Don't worry too much about that. Combination of BEM, but with capitalization and spaces. So here we go, do that. And then we're looking down here. So we have another section here. Try and break it up into as many sections as you can, as this is what SEO will really not like. So another section. Now within here, and I like sections to be the root. So I could have done a div block with my main, what's it called? Main content within there. But I like just this, I just like that sections are neat and tidy at the earliest point I possibly can. So within the main, there is a section. So I'm also thinking about how it's represented in the navigator as well. So this will be a div block with a class of main content. And it's got that sort of thing that we created earlier for the navbar. And then it's just this paragraph here. Cool. And then, so I'm not sure about the API of Instagram. Now, how to do this lesson really quickly. I could do a JavaScript call that will go fetch all my posts, return them, and then create them. But the thing is, that's happening after the page load, which is not great for SEO. What you want is this content to be available on page load. And the only way to do that would be some sort of Webflow integration with its own CMS. So we create CMS items for every Instagram post. And I don't know whether that exists. So let's just do Instagram Webflow. It could be a Zapier thing. What's its Instagram gallery? Let's have a look at that. Instagram group gallery. Create a collection. So so I'd need to. This is the simplest way to do it. Is that I'll create a collection. Oh no! Create a Zap. There we go. Cool. So it's basically, yeah, creating a collection, setting up the type and the fields that I want, And then every time I post, a Zap puts that into the collection. And then on my page, I loop through. So we go into here, let's add a new section, div block, main content. Would have liked to have done this live, but I need to get used to, it just doesn't feel natural. I need to get more comfortable doing this stuff live. Instagram. So that is going to be a heading, but it's going to be a H2 because it's nested within this H1. And then below here, I'm going to have a collection list. So let's create our collection and call it Instagram feed. And let's just have a little glance at what they're saying to do. Click it, add a new image. Add new field, image. Let's just call it image. Cool. Name the label images. So let's just do that. I wonder why it says images. No problem. Okay, so they're just doing images. Maybe in time we can add the title or something like that on hover, but that's fine for me too. Save field, create collection. Let's just add 5 items. And unknown file name. Okay, we'll sort that out later. So now when I go to my page, those 5, if I link this up to my Instagram feed, there'll be 5 elements here, and then I can choose the design inside of here. So collection item, image, and I will get the image from images. Perfect. Alt text. Use alt text from asset, that's fine. Get alt text. Yeah, let's do that. Lazy load, that's fine. Cool, and now I can design this as I wish, but I want to limit this. Limit, show 3 starting at 1. Cool, so we have 3. Perfect. And that's that. Look at that, it's starting to come together. And then view more will obviously link through to the Instagram. So this will be a text link. Oops. Oops. Nope. View more. There we go. Let's copy, paste this section, and then go YouTube. So we have a piece of text here as the title. So it's name, that's fine, that's fine. Maybe a time would be quite nice to have there. Is it indeed time? I'll use this. Time length. Cool. How do I generate now? There we go. Okay, I can't generate. Never mind. I missed that one. And then what that does, it actually creates some templates here for when you click through to it, but I'm probably going to override that and have them just click through to the direct post really. So yeah, we'll deal with that later. Okay, why is that locked? Let's try just deleting it. Maybe you can only have, oh no, here we go. I was going to say, I was thinking maybe you can only have one collection item per page, which wouldn't surprise me. Cool. Now, let's go crack on with the first. This is 3 columns. Section. Now I think, we go up here, I think we have some grid columns. Let's just do that. And then column 1, this will be a this paragraph will be fine. I wonder why that's not in a, oh no, because I need to boom boom content. There we go. In time I'd like this to be able to update with, I don't know how, but yeah, that'd be cool. And then this will be a nav. Is it a navbar? Can we do that? Type. No, we don't want it to do that. So it's not a navbar, it should be a list. And then I'm not, I want to put it in, I want to put it in the list item. Weird. Instagram. YouTube. Here. My tools. Cool. And we have our basic site. So could probably make this and this into a component because I'm reusing it. Maybe this even could be a component. But let's do that real quick. Do this. Component, create new component. Brilliant. Same again. So now I can reuse those across the site. Right, now let's get to the fun part. Let's start styling this. Let's start with a header here. Double click. Now I need to figure out, I'm assuming, given that I haven't done anything to that there's going to be a background color, which there is. I'm going to change that to a gradient. And this is fine. And then remove that, make that transparent. Cool. Probably going to tone that black a little bit more, just to give it a little something. And then I want to make this position fixed. So fixed sticks it to the window as opposed to, yeah, it just sticks it to the viewport. So when I scroll down, it stays there. You can see that, and you need to position it basically like that. That's cool. And now I need to position those within there. So that's the main content. We need to add some classes here because I don't want to affect the main content class. I want to keep that as it is. And then we can do Navbar. Let's do Navbar inner. Flex center, so you can see that they're in the center, and justify between. Maybe we want to, what will happen if I change the color to white? Nothing. Yeah. Nav link. Nav link. Nav link. Cool. Let's sort out that font as well. What font did I use? I'm pretty sure I used a Google IO and Old Style. No. So let's add this font. I'll search. What? So they do not have ION. I thought it was a Google font. Probably it's just that then. Normal. Cool. Cool. To 400. Should be able to select this from the drop down now. All pages. Here we go. There it is. Boom. All pages. So I'm going to increase that to 16 because 14. That's interesting because yeah, 14 is just, it's not accessible. And if you to click on form elements, it zooms in on anything below 16. So Lord knows why they pick 14. I suppose it looks nicer. Looks nicer. I'm a developer, can't you tell? Right, cool. So we have the font sorted. It's maybe going to make that a bit bigger, even though can I do that? Cool. Let's sort this hero section out. So we've got a floating header. Now with this hero section, I'm going to put that, rename that hero content, and then name this to hero section like this. We need to compensate for that top bit. Well, we don't really actually, because it's now moved. It's now positioned itself like, because you've taken the header out of flow, it's just gone boop and filled that space. So what we're going to do is go straight in there with the brand new 100 SVH, which is a great new CSS property, which means that on a mobile, when that the floating URL pops up, it's going to compensate for that. Whereas before, if you put 100 viewport height, that floating thing would disappear and then the header would resize. So we've done that, and now we want to display flex this and then put that in the center, which is cool. And then this content itself is text align center like that, which is cool. With our H1, I'm happy with that size. Hero tagline, let's do that, and then make that 18. Maybe something like 24. Cool. And then we want the content to have a background image. Let's do that. We'll do it as JPEG. And we'll convert them later on. So add it to here. And then go to here, choose image, cover, position, and then cool. Let's do all headings. Oh. Okay, that's done. Font spacing, I want a bit better. Better spacing. Let's do EM. Cool. That looks better. Cool. It's come together. I probably want a bit of an overlay of this. So I add a color. 0.5 is a bit strong, but that's exactly what I want. So it's just a bit darker. Cool. 32. I normally like rems in here, which is basically a percentage, or sorry, a multiple of the base font size. So our base font size is 16, so 1 rem will be 16. 2 rems will be 32. 1.5 rems will be 16, 8, 25? Don't know, but you get the point. That's fine. Let's do this. And it looks like there's a bit of a max width on this one as well, so 19 looks good to me. 919, yep. 919. Freaking out for a sec there, and then of course to center it, we do this. Looks like it's a lot bigger padding there as well. So we'll do this. Yes. And again, EMs are a multiple of the current font size set. So our current font size is 32, so 3 EMs will be 3 times 32. And if we were to make the font size smaller, then the padding would adjust kind of accordingly to it. So cool. Very basic, but whatever. It is what it is. Nice. Look at the padding there. I don't want that padding. Cool. What I do want is, presumably, this is flex. I do want a Normally that spaces it between and keeps the edges, but for whatever reason it's having that thing. Not sure if this is the right fix for now, but we'll go with it. Looks about right. Start this button. Give it a primary button link style. You need to make it display inline blocks so that it respects padding. Normally I just go 5, 5, and 1. This is just to get an idea. So that looks... Oops, what's happened there? And that's radius. So if you hold Alt and then click that, it will just remove what you've just done. We do this, and looking good. And a little bit of padding, but a margin below that. Looking at the class name here, go. Let's just do 30 pixels. A bit more than that. 50 pixels. Collection Risk Wrapper, that's a fine class. Probably want to wrap this, and there's a new shortcut or something. Wrap in div, beautiful. CTA, yeah, CTA is fine. And now we can position that in the middle. Cool. Doesn't look quite the same, but I don't care. I'm not worried too much about the design of this. It's more important that I get it out than anything else. Let's do 20 pixels. Let's do 1 EM below that. In effect, when you do that, it affects both of them then. Connection. Archived. No, we just want to post it. Archived, I'm not sure if that means... I'll just leave it as false for now and see what happens. Let's test it. Okay. So let's just... delete that. Continue. Test. No workout. Test. So look in Webflow. Oh my god. Looks like it worked. Delete something out of the image though. Maybe we can only send. Delete. Maybe we can only send the thumbnail image. Let's try that. Looks good. Refresh that. Okay, something's happening, but why aren't you publishing? Draft true. Oh. Cool. Well, that's not the account I want to link. Cool. Finally. Publish. So now we want to make this do aspect ratio. going to make this square. I wonder if there's a way to do it without code. Okay, we can't make this square, but that's okay. I don't mind. And YouTube, can we do that one as well? This is the one. Okay, we need an image. To wait until I upload a new video, which should be today, for that to work. But presumably, should run the test one actually. Let's do that. Test. Okay, cool. So I keep staging them. I wonder if that will change. But in the meantime, let's quickly style this. Image. Get image. Div, put that in there, and then we want a little piece of text. I generally put most pieces of text in a paragraph, really could do with an image there, but never mind. Anyway, this will be position relative. Look at that. Boom. Want to wrap that in a, what do we call the last one? CTA. And then you start to see reusable classes come in clutch. And then collection list wrapper. Let's go with that name. The same one as well, so we get that padding. Cool, and then now I'm going to quickly bosh out the footer. And then we could do the other page. Just have a look at the other page. But it's pretty much the same stuff. So I think let's do the footer. I'm gonna have some lunch, call it, and then maybe call it a day. So let's footer. We want a background just off black. Color of white. Location. And the link. Wish you could, let's have a look. Yeah, wish you could select multiple. Never mind. Footer content, give it a little bit of padding now, and make that just wait. Oops, what's going on? Oh, that's desktop. Or we should look to do the mobile versions too. To me, looks good. Well, like a total absolute mug, I didn't turn on my microphone and the battery ran out on my camera. So I'll have to see how that turned out, but I've come back refreshed on my lunch. We've obviously got a working Webflow website here that in time will pull through YouTube. I think I've got a video coming out tonight. Maybe I'll put in some dummy content or my last 2 videos. It won't take long to do that. And then I have my Instagram. So for me, I've got to add a gear page, which will be a duplicate of this, but ultimately will be another CMS basically of all of these items. But visually, it will look pretty much the same. I'm not in any way harmed by the fact that this is going to be a pretty basic website. Let's name this a section just to keep it the same and just add a 50 pixel thing to the bottom of that section. Cool. So with that, let's take a look at the mobile versions and just double check that everything's looking okay, which starting to get a bit cramped there. We've got some overflow issues, which I don't know what's causing that, to be honest, but we'll fix it. And then obviously as you get smaller and smaller, the more crazy it gets. So let's address these issues one by one. what is causing that overflow? Probably the negative margin on this, potentially. Let's remove that negative margin and see if we can achieve that, or leave it as it is. Yeah, so there we go, it's fixed now. So when I'm doing this, what I like to do is just work component by component or module by module. So let's look at this hero. We have our nav here. Do we want to... So I want to change something on the main content class, and really building a style guide is the best way to do this, and having it on a separate page and all the rest of it. But because we've only got two classes here, I'm going to remove navbar inner and add 15 pixels, which is generally a nice, what I think is quite a nice navbar inner, and then we add that navbar inner. Generally a nice kind of pixel content to have on mobile devices. We also need to fix this. So what I'm going to do is undo that, and on this one I'm going to change it just up here. Even though you can't see it, when I go back it'll be like that, and there we go. Seems to be some sort of inner. There we go. So that looks good up there. The probably should see, a weird thing to note, and this is a complete sidebar, is when I watch people use websites, you'd be surprised at the amount of people that kind of don't realize you got to scroll. It seems pretty instinctual for people like you and me, but it is what it is. So with that, I'm going to make that 95 SVH just to give people the inclination that they can and should scroll down. That potentially is a bit big. So I can go in here, because I've added the classes, I don't need to add any classes. Let's make that 24. That's fine. And this is where we start to get a bit cramped on this. So what I'm going to do is make this full width at this point. Wherever it is. There we go. Whoops. How odd. Wonder why that's because of that. Okay, yeah, because I had another thing over the top of it. Where's that come from? Okay, so I had some class doing that. Let's keep it like that. Oh, I added flex because I wanted the gap. Okay, we'll keep it like that. Block. And next item, give that 10 pixels just below it. That looks good to me. And then the footer, So what I do, I'm looking for, oh, did I do that by accident? Yeah, I did. I look at the kind of the highest point. Well, it's definitely not going to be those that might have already been defined on, which I can't find it. So the highest point is that. So let's just do that. And then let's do that. And then that. Something odd about that. What's going on there? I think it's because of that. It's creating some sort of... Why is that not looking center? Oh. So that's probably on there as well. Yeah. Don't care about that. Perfect. Cool, probably need a bit of space on that one, so let's add some margin on that. There's some space, looks good to me. And then that will carry through to those bottom ones there. So, do we have a... So we have this, I've forgotten that. So the good thing about this footer is main content. Where did I add the black? So I think I added the black, yeah. I added the black too low down. So let's wrap that in a div. And then create another div here, which is going to contain this copyright stuff. I want 3 of these because I'm breaking it into thirds. One F. There we go. And this one is footer. Oh, we just probably don't need anything for that because we can just go boom. Footer dark will be color white, and then we can remove that, which gives us this. Probably could actually put this in there. And then, so that is third. Why are you? Do I even need that? There we go. Oops. Boom. This is what I'm talking about, like removing as much HTML as possible. Like if you don't need it, get rid of it. Absolutely get rid of it. Footer white center. And footer white, right col. Probably hide that. Tempted to make a little helper to say no margin, which will just go boom. And then wherever I add that then, I can just reuse it. So now where's that padding coming from? Oh, it's not visible. It's just inside of Webflow. Cool. I want you to put that inside of content. Perfect. Oh, we need to set these links up too. So I've not used these connector property things, so let's have a little look what they do. We connect it to the selected element, have a link plus link. Let's do Instagram link. Let's just do that. Text Instagram, show all settings, property settings, external link. New tab. Okay, so I'm assuming that's worked. Now, if I go to this, connect to property, create connect, no. Is there a way to reuse that connection? Ah, so this is so I can edit it from outside. Got you, got you. I have used these, I just, maybe I'm not familiar with the... Okay, that's cool. So outside, yeah. Got you, okay. I thought I could just reuse it so that whenever I change that Instagram link to a new username, it would just propagate everywhere then, but no. External link, new tab. Right, now that we've done that, let's look at the site settings, which I made a video on if you're interested in that. And let's just go through and set this up. So obviously I want to change the icon, though I don't have an icon. Let's just make it into a T. So let's make a 256 by 256 image of a T in the font. And then what was our font name again? ION. ION. Why not installed it? Nice and boring, but it gets us what we need. JPEG is fine. That needs to be 32 by 32. Localization, let's do, that's fine for now. Text. EN. Password, showcase, shared, no. Must upgrade, whatever. Members, we don't care about that. Publishing. Pro. Let's remove the hyphen so it's all one word. Private, production, 301, we don't care about that. Okay, that's fine. Plans, billing, we're not gonna pay to host this. Free website until it's making me money. SEO. Yeah, that's fine. Well, that's fine. So Google site verification, let's just quickly go through this. All I do is search.google.com/search console. Now let's add a property. I don't actually know, I've never done this through verification ID. So that probably, this is probably our verification ID. Let's take that. Delete all that. Gumph, save. Okay. Happy with all that. Forms, we haven't got any forms yet. Recaptcha, form submissions. Probably should have a contact page, to be fair. We've got this, that's all fine. Come on. So, I'm going to do a whole episode on this, but this is going to be a quick rundown. I never use Google Analytics. I love Google Optimize, don't need to use that, whatever. So instead of Google Analytics, what I do is go to tagmanager.google.com and I add a tag manager, although you need to have custom code to be able to do that. So actually scrap that, analytics. So add a Google Analytics account. I've got all these. I've got a lot of websites. Create an account, let's create a property. Property name. Entertainment. Create. No. Web. All good. Now we have our measurement ID. Boom. Save that. And that is it. Let's publish. Oh, it is. It's Travel Book Pro. I'm sure I changed that. Guess it's under publishing. Okay. Okay, it didn't save. Didn't really think about doing that. Okay. And that is pretty much it. Lovely. Now I could do some interactions and stuff like that. But let's get a couple images in there. So, Instagram. Oh, it's not got an A in there, which means my links are wrong. There we go. Designer. Let's correct these links while they're top of mind. Don't know why I'm going to Instagram. I've got the actual raw image, don't I? What was the other one? Me stunning. I love this photo. Cool. Let's get these into squares. How would I make these into squares? Because normally I'd do aspect ratio, which is a CSS property. But I have to manually do it. Let's go through 50 pixels. Do cover. Why is none the thing that I need? Let's do contain actually, you know? At least it maintains the aspect ratio then. Cool, and now let's go to YouTube. .10.01. So I'm noticing the file size of these images is pretty big. So what I really want to do is compress those, and I can do that. I use a terminal thing, but JPEG compression, I would just use compressed JPEG, something like that, just to get those file sizes down. Make sure you resize them the size they're going to be need to be, or at least double that, and then figure that out. But and then upload those. Do not do what I'm doing, which is uploading just the raw image. It's just, yeah, I just want to, just because I want to kind of get through this. So 10.01. Let's upload this one as well, even though it's going to be overwritten tonight when there's a new blog landing. .605. Yeah, these are far too big. We go back to the page. There we go. And they should all be the same, always the same size. So we shouldn't have much issue there. And I like how the timestamp is. Maybe one day I'll have them link through to the actual URL or something like that. But again, I just want to get this up. We can publish that now. Boom. Probably need to center align those images too, because it's collection item. That. Cool. So I'm going to wrap up there. I think we've got the site uploading. I've got my URL and all the rest of it. Actually, let's do the contact page. Let's do the contact page, because just because that's a form. So create a new page. We'll name it contact. Contact. Oh yes, there's metadata as well. We need to fill in on the page settings. So we've got all that to do as well. Cool. let's go to home and let's copy our main. We've got our header, we've got our footer. We can paste in that main, and then we have at least a starting point to start doing all this. This probably should link back to home now that we have page home, and then something naff like that. We can do that. We can delete these, and then in here we're going to put in a form. And this to me too wide. Let's go to max 400 pixels. Let's have a look at that. Auto, name, email address, text. We want a text area. What are they called? Do you know what? I've never been able to get the fields to work. Like, you're supposed to be able to, apparently you're supposed to be able to just put them nearby and it will link them. No idea. Placeholder. Make that required. Email, message. See, I just don't know how that links to that. Just no idea. Just looking at the right hand side of my page here to see if I can see anything change. But I can't. That to me looks good. I'm going to make that into a primary button. In fact, I'm not. Oh, I'm going to do primary button, and then I'm going to go submit. Do that and change a few things. And that's it. So if I go to my form, my options, I can see the success state and error state as well. So we could do that, but that's fine. Email form. You want to leave all these. And that's pretty much it. Publish that, and I've got a working form. And that will submit then. If I go to site settings, now form name, Webflow forms, this is going to notify me, and I can just leave all that. Maybe I want a recaptcha, maybe I'll do that, because it takes 2 seconds. Cool. Now we have a Recaptcha. Publish that. And I am chuffed to bits. Finally got a website out there. So yeah, from start to finish, a scratch Webflow website. You can see you can get a lot of stuff done. You need to understand a bit about HTML and CSS on the right hand side to really navigate your way around things. But ultimately, it's a very straightforward process. Thinking about how things collapse is a lot of this stuff just takes time and practice. So I just implore you to just play and have a play with it and just see what you can come up with. Try not to just add. If something doesn't work, take it away. Or if you add something in a higher breakpoint, then remove it further down. So, because that's overriding it then, and adding CSS bloat is another thing to think about. But websites are damn easy on Webflow. Oh yeah, there was a metadata. So I've got the metadata to add in here. I do want to remove this page. So there we go. I can just remove that template page. I'll save that. Remove that template page. I might play with those later. I don't know. I can change this here to say Travel Book Pro Solo Nomad. Play around with all that, make sure this all looks nice. Other than that, it's a fully functioning website with a CMS as well. Well, didn't I make a pig's ear of all of the recording today? So if you enjoyed this one, then give us a like. If you want to understand more about Webflow and the coding concepts underneath, then give us a subscribe. And until next time, happy no coding.